Welcome to TRS Clips, where you'll find happiness through your own curiosity. What do you think people in Israel are feeling about all this? Now, this Iran thing came up. The Gaza-Israel thing is already going on. What do you think the mood is like in that nation?
I think the Israelis are a very resilient, very hardy people. They have always been under a state of siege. From the time Israel was formed in 1948, the first thing that happened was all of their neighbors attacked them. The first war. So they have always been under this state of siege, and they have done a tremendous amount of progress out of almost nothing. So everybody undergoes military training, compulsory military training, unless you have some health issue or whatever, but almost everybody goes through that. So they all have this warrior mindset. And I'm sure there is a significant amount of paranoia, let's say, or the feeling that everyone is out to get us in Israel. But it's not something that's new for Israel. They have gone through this multiple times in their past. They've had multiple wars, the Yom Kippur War, the 48 War, and other wars. There have been smaller conflicts also that can be classified as wars, and so on. So it's not something very new to them. But obviously, it must be for someone like you and me, it'll be very strange to live in that sort of society where there's the constant threat of annihilation. That everyone's out to get us. All our neighbors, they don't like us. Right now, they may be behaving themselves, but at the end of the day, all of them want to kill us. So yeah, it's strange.
In your eyes, where is this Israel-Iran and or Israel-Palestine thing going?
I don't see what the solution is. Look, there have been multiple solutions that have been proposed. A 3-state solution, 2-state solution, whatever. The 2-state solution is Israel gives some territory exclusively for the Palestinians to live in, and you live separately, we live separately, we don't bother with your life, you don't bother with our life, and we go our separate ways. You have your territory, you govern yourself. So that has actually been implemented in 2005 when Gaza became self-governing, and the people of Gaza voted Hamas to power. And we know what happened after that. So the Israelis have tried a 2-state solution. And see what happened. October 7, 2023, a massive terrorist attack. And there are people in Gaza who were crossing the border every day and working in Israel. They had employment in Israel. They were working in various roles in various places. Some of them were working as, gardeners or whatever in various homes, cleaners. And they're the ones who gave intelligence to the terrorists as to what are the vulnerabilities in each of these homes, in each of these kibbutzim and all. So now that is gone. The trust, whatever little trust was there, has been annihilated, destroyed. Those people will never get employment in Israel again. Gaza has been sealed off. So what happens now? I am at a loss as to imagine what the long-term solution to this problem is. I don't know. I mean, the Palestinians obviously want Israel to cease to exist. Iran wants Israel to cease to exist. They say that from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means no Israel. The river that they're talking about is the Jordan River, which is the de facto border between Israel and the nation of Jordan. From there to the Mediterranean Sea, you have the small nation of Israel. From the river to the sea, if Palestine is free, it means there is no Israel left. So that is obviously a call for the erasure of a nation and the genocide of a people. Now, obviously, that is something that no civilized person would want anywhere in the world. So that's not a viable solution. But then the Palestinians said that the Israelis are oppressing us. Well, the Israelis gave them a separate nation essentially in Gaza. And the Israelis were no longer interfering in what was happening in Gaza. But the Palestinians were not okay with that. So I don't know. The Palestinians would like the complete destruction of Israel. The Israelis just want to, they also, they are not entirely all saints themselves. There is the West Bank region in which they have been settling people. Maybe they should not do that. Certainly they should not do that, and so on. So both sides have done something or the other wrong. The terrorist attack on October 7 was an unforgivable thing, which a crime against humanity. But the Palestinians would say that the Israelis have been committing crimes against humanity. I don't know. I am an outside or external observer. I don't have a horse in that race, but I am not able to see a solution beyond the annihilation of one nation or another, which nobody wants. So yeah, it's a situation. It's a problem that seems to have no solution.
Both want the annihilation of the other.
Kind of.
Both have wanted the annihilation of the other historically as well. But it's never ended.
Yeah. So what do you do about this?
Could we see an end?
The end would not be a very nice end, So I don't know. The only thing I can see which is viable is a continuation of the status quo. Gaza remains sealed off from Israel. No person from Gaza, no Palestinian is allowed into Israel. The West Bank, maybe Israel should completely withdraw, but then there's the question of Jerusalem, which is part of the West Bank and all that. So lots of very, very complicated issues over here that have to be fixed. Gaza can be simply sealed off and they can live their life the way they want. They can receive whatever supplies they want from the sea and that sort of thing. That's one reasonably simple solution. The West Bank is more complicated. Maybe Israel should stop settling people in the West Bank in regions where the Palestinians claim that it's their land. And also, I think both sides can make some efforts to diffuse the situation. But long term, there is this deep hatred, which is like a blood hatred. And I don't know what the solution to that is.
You said that basically the way the Iranian missile and drone strike was planned was simply to kind of test waters. It was like putting your foot in a pond and seeing, okay, how does Israel and its allies react to this situation? So you said that Jordan responded by helping Israel and
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about Jordan and Saudi Arabia?
Well, it means that these are both US allies, and Israel is the number one US ally in the region. So the Americans, see, when it comes to sovereignty, there are only 4 sovereign nations in the world, the way I see it. The US, China, Russia, and India. The other nations all have compromised sovereignty or pooled sovereignty. When it comes to the West Asia region, Israel, you can say, is a more or less sovereign nation to a large extent. But nations like Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, they have military bases on their soil, which are American bases. And when you have foreign soldiers, foreign troops on your soil, you're not really a sovereign nation. So these nations, to a large extent, are controlled by the US, and they will do what the Americans tell them to do. So if they are instructed to defend Israel against whatever incoming airstrike or whatever strike, they're going to do it. So that is something the Iranians were able to possibly predict and definitely discover, that the Jordanians and Saudi Arabians will aid Israel despite being Islamic nations, which are kind of, you would imagine, antithetical to the Jewish nation. But there you have it. That's what happened. And the Iranians also did not want to cause a lot of damage. They wanted to placate their public, their citizenry, that look, we took this strong action and we have destroyed so many targets. The Israelis said no, very little was destroyed, but the Iranian government can claim that we launched X number of assets and destroyed Y amount of assets on Israeli territory. So it was at the same time designed to impress their own domestic public, to demonstrate the Iranian capabilities to the rest of the world, especially to Israel and to the US, and also cause as little damage as possible in Israel. And the Israelis responded in a very similar manner. They wanted to demonstrate that we can launch strikes directly on Iranian soil from outside of Iran, but they also calibrated the strike in such a way that it doesn't cause too much damage. So they were both trying to diffuse the situation while saving face and not losing credibility.
Marketing gimmicks.
You could say.
Geopolitical marketing gimmicks.
You could say that.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's clip, make sure you check out all the other clips we've uploaded on this channel. You'll find a clip related to almost every single topic as long as you're willing to search for it.